We have to have like a clean start.
Mm-hmm.
Hello!
Hello!
Welcome to I Love You, Bud, where we talk about common relationship issues.
And our advice on how to deal.
While we drink wine.
While we drink wine.
Yep.
So bring in what we're drinking tonight.
So tonight we are drinking a California blend, 2014, Terrain Vineyards. It's the pinnacle of quality.
That's their pitch, their pinnacle. I think this can be found on the bottom shelf at Trader Joe's for around $10.
No, this is the one that our friends gave us last week.
Oh.
Yeah, so I don't know how much this is.
We'll find out how much our friends like us in a few moments then. All right, let's
Open it.
crack it open.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Don't know how to show it.
Yeah, my thumb hurts. It hurts.
There you are.
Ooh,
Wait a
I almost took a sip.
second.
I'm sorry. I
Goodness.
got a little excited.
Wait for me. Cheers.
Cheers. What does it smell like?
It smells smooth. Can you smell smooth?
It smells smooth. It smells generically red fruity to me. You know? No? She's like, oh.
I like it.
It's very good.
Very smooth.
It's very smooth.
It's
Very simple.
fruity.
Yeah.
But not in a bad way.
No, not at all.
Like has an earthy finish. Only a little bit.
Whoa. Fancy.
Trying to be. Yeah.
Oh.
Thanks, friends.
Pleasant surprise.
Yes.
Awesome. Thank you. So we're going to finish this.
Yeah, so we're going to drink this glass of wine.
At least.
And then we're going to come back and talk about the common relationship issue over wine. While kind of drunk.
Yeah. Yeah. Be right back. All right.
All right. Time for our second glass.
Yeah.
Dun, dun, dun,
Oh, God.
dun, dun.
That's a lot of love in a glass.
Do you want to give me some of yours?
Just a little bit.
All right.
There you go.
Oh, lick it, lick it.
Ah! Where's it at? Oh, I got it. Nom, 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 nom.
All right, so this week we are talking about I love you, but we need to talk about moving in together.
Yeah. One of the first, massive, really, really massive questions that you kind of come into, I think, too.
I mean, there are a lot of reactions.
There's a ton of them. There's,
oh my God, what are my parents going to think?
there's, holy shit, what do I think? Or there's oh my God, yes, I'm really excited about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And everything in between. Oh my God, what am I doing?
Yeah, right. So
Okay.
the odds are you've thought of this probably as a result of circumstance, right? So your circumstance can be anything in the world that's driving you out of your current living situation.
Yeah, so, I mean, you could be living with your parents, you could have a bad roommate situation, your groceries could be going bad, which is definitely what happened with us.
Super. Leafy greens go bad so fast when you don't realize how you're not eating them. Yeah,
they really
do. That stuff is gone like that, and then you're paying a lot of money to keep it in your fridge. It's not
worth
favorable.
It. No,
it's not a favorable.
Not a what?
Don't worry about it. And all the circumstances that we've mentioned so far, it's important to note, have been relatively negative circumstances.
I mean, they don't have to be negative, but.
Right.
I understand what you're saying, but you should move in together because of a positive. So, you want to wake up with that person every morning. You want to go to sleep with them. You want to do the boring stuff with them, like make dinner and clean your apartment with them. That's why you live with someone.
Yeah,
because it's
want to be
convenient.
with them.
And because you want to be with them.
You want to be with them. You live with someone because it's convenient.
Yeah.
The truth comes out.
I mean, it is convenient to live with someone. It is
convenient. Financially, it's convenient.
Yeah.
Yeah, with regards to food, is convenient. I mean, it can be a very convenient situation.
Yeah.
And
you love them, so you want to see them all the time because you're obsessed with them.
Right, which should really be the core of the circumstance.
Really obsession?
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
Not obsession. No, the point is that you don't want, generally speaking, you don't want a negative kind of energy or thought driving such a major decision.
No, of course not.
Yeah, you want it to come from a positive place.
Yeah.
A place of a place of love, as it were. Yeah.
Okay.
A place of positivity and love, grounded in those things.
Okay.
I took a yoga
Mr.
class.
Yoga master.
I took a yoga class this week. I'm all zenned out. I'm ready to go. Yeah.
On top of teaching.
On top of
We're
it, yeah.
both yoga teachers.
Because
and
we
that's
teach. So.
Another story.
Yeah. Namaste, fools.
Namaste, bitches.
Okay. So, your circumstances.
Your circumstances?
Yeah, CACIRC.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
So your circumstance is at least is positive.
Yeah.
Maybe the negative got you thinking about it, but now it's positive.
Mm-hmm.
You want to do it, which brings us to like the big question of when is the right time? Like
when is the right time?
What is the right age? Right to move in is kind of something that surrounds that. When is the right time?
I mean, my belief is the right time is whatever is the right is right for you and your partner.
Yeah.
So, it doesn't have to be a certain thing, but I mean, the science says
science.
It's not whether you're engaged or married and you move in together, but it's when you make the big commitment to be with one another. Mm. So you really talk about like age. Is that what it is? You're the one who read the article.
Yeah. So you take the science has always said that moving in together before marriage is doomsday.
Like you are on
at Geo as a doomsday prepper.
Yeah.
You've got cans of food in the garage. So, but if
Good
you get
show.
if you move in together before marriage, odds are you're getting divorced. That's what science has always said.
Mm.
But,
big myth.
Big myth.
Big myth.
Big myth.
Where are you going with that?
I'm bringing it right back here. But science has recently started
The
science and sociology more specifically is starting to ask the question: is this true? Is this real? And what they kind of found, is this real life? What they found is like,
what's that?
it was me, but with wine. What they found was that that's not true at all. If you take marriage, you take moving in together, you combine them into the big C, as you mentioned.
The big C.
Yeah. It comes down to, generally speaking, an age which is 23 years old.
And that's just a general age.
Just a general age. And we'll get to that in a second. So at 23, divorce rate of couples who move in
23
together
or
whatever,
older.
23, when you're 23 and you make that big C, divorce rate drops off. Because at 23, generally speaking, both parties know who they are as people.
Yeah, like at the core.
Yeah, at the core, and they values are in place. Jobs, at least, even if it's temporary, jobs are in place. You know how to work. You know how to make your rent. You know how to pay your bills.
You've lived without your parents. In some type of situation.
Exactly, and you know how to clean up after yourself. And
I hope so.
Yeah, and even if you're a relatively messy person, there's still a basic, line that you don't cross. You know where that is. Like, it's you've become an adult, as it were. Oh God.
Hashtag adulting.
Yes. So so it's not even 23 necessarily. That's more the average number.
It's just your life experience. You know, like you generally probably have graduated college. You live by yourself. You're used to paying bills. You're used to having a job, as you said.
Yeah.
So and you have your core values and beliefs, like I said before. Yeah.
So and that can happen much earlier than 23, depending on your life situation.
I mean, I was that person.
Yeah. Or it can happen much later, depending on your life situation.
You're probably a dude. Get that look on your face.
Fuck you. And we're done. The reason for that isn't just because you're 23 and you magically have it all figured out.
I mean...
Because everybody listening who's 23 or older is like, 23 doesn't mean shit.
Or they're like, I have it all figured out.
Potentially, yeah. For sure.
I've met those people.
Yeah. Oh, man. They're everywhere.
I was that person, so...
I was that person at 19 and 20.
Yeah.
That went away.
Sadly.
And then the other thing, like, cohabitation is very much becoming the brand new norm. Since 2012, all couples who have been married not all couples, but it was like 2/3 of couples that have been married since 2012 had tried living together before they ended up getting married. Yeah. So
I did it. Cohabitation is up by like 1 billion% in the last 50 years.
Yeah. It's
literally 1 billion.
It's not literally 1 billion, but
is it like 900%?
It's how did you know?
So basically,
it's
a
up,
billion %.
Yeah, it's up a shit ton of percent. Yeah, it's
That's
the new
good
norm.
scientific
Yeah, shit ton.
terminology. Yeah.
Yeah,
Shit.
shit, dog. But yeah, it's the new norm, and you shouldn't feel weird about it. Most people do it.
I
Now
mean, we
it's the
still
majority.
feel weird about it.
We've lived together for 5 years. I don't think 4 years.
Come on.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Get your shit together, Allison.
I'm trying to. I'm just not 23 yet. I'm sorry.
Goodness. We are older than 23. But we didn't make the big C. We made the big C commitment before 23.
Right.
So God help us.
We're doomed.
I don't know, man.
No, but I was living alone, and you had graduated college, even though you were living with roommates.
Another thing that you should look into before you move together is your finances. So, like we mentioned, we started to realize that all of our groceries were going bad at our apartment. So, like, I would buy groceries, he would buy groceries, his groceries would go bad, my groceries would go bad.
Yeah.
Financially, on our grocery bills, we really needed to move in together so that we wouldn't waste so much money and waste so much food, because that's terrible.
100%.
I mean, it is really cost effective. So, I mean, you split the rent. You're living in one bedroom with one person instead of 2 bedrooms. You know what I mean? So you split the space, you split the cost. The heating bill, the electric bill, the internet bill.
Right down the middle.
And the big ones.
When you moved in, it was the easiest day of my financial life.
Yeah, but your rent was so inexpensive at the time. But we also lived in a 300 square foot studio apartment in downtown Chicago. Like,
On a twin bed.
it was terrible.
Tight doesn't even describe it.
But we were happy because we were together.
Somebody else took a yoga class this week.
It was a positive thing.
It was.
I also got a storage unit, so like it wasn't packed.
But more on that later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the most important thing that you're going to be saving money on is, of course, your Netflix and your Amazon accounts. Obviously.
Because it's going to the same address.
Yeah. So you get to save on that money. And I mean, not just Netflix, but like Hulu,
Save that
HBO,
money.
any of the other streaming services that you pay for.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
You just get the one instead of the two. It's a lot easier.
That's what she said.
Yeah. She didn't even know what Amazon Prime was until she met me.
Yeah,
Can you
that's
believe it?
I did it, and now I get like a package a week.
Free 2-day shipping? Oh.
I told my friend the
perfect.
other day that we didn't go to the store anymore, like for shampoo and like cleaning supplies and stuff. She was like, "What do you mean?" I was like, "Well, we just ordered it all on Amazon. That's all Adam does. He just researches stuff, and like I'm like, oh, we need cleaner, and he's like, it's on its way. It'll be here in 2 days, and I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then it gets here like the next day, and she was just so amazed that we don't go to the store anymore. And then I was too, because I didn't really realize it.
Yeah. Well, like in what? Yeah. Well,
English.
Sorry.
It's
I'm really feeling it now.
Yeah, you can tell in your face.
Well, the last time I went to the store sucked because I ended up at 3 hardware stores and still didn't get what I want. So
you
but
couldn't find a
anyways,
stupid extension cord
couldn't, but
at Home Depot.
It's okay. It's okay.
They were like, oh, we don't have that.
Love
size
you, Home
here.
Depot. It's all good. All right.
Silly.
So anyway, so financial reasons. There's there. Also, just a side note, just know your partner's financial habits, and I just kind of want to leave it at that. Don't worry about judging them.
Or
don't worry about
prying.
don't pry. Don't try to help them or anything. If you think it's bad, just
know.
Just
be
know what they
aware.
are and know what questions you think you're gonna want to ask.
So if you don't take anything else from this podcast, what is this, a video? Whatever we're doing. If you don't take anything else from this, listen to this. This is the only thing. Know who is on your lease.
Boom. Repeat, please. One time.
Know who is on your lease.
KNOW. Know who is on your lease.
So there's no right or wrong answer, but you just need to know legally who's responsible for your apartment. So if you want to split rent, like completely down the middle, totally cool. both of your names should be on the lease because, like, if I decide to split, then I'm still legally responsible for half the rent.
Yeah.
If
I signed for a place that I can't afford, thinking that she was going to live with me throughout that entire lease, she can split, and there is nothing I can do.
Yeah, so,
So
you
be
really need to know.
aware.
Or if I can afford the apartment on my own, and I'm like, oh, you know, since cohabitation is the new norm, we're just going to take this as a test drive. I'm going to pay for the entire, even if you're paying me for half of it, I can financially pay for all of the apartment on my own if we decide to break up.
If the worst case,
Yeah.
if that happens.
You know, so it all depends whatever you and your partner are comfortable with. Because you still want to feel at home, whatever the option is. Like even if one person can't afford the entire apartment on their own, but like, no, you should know because
Know who it is.
legally things can get pretty dicey.
Because the state and companies, real estate companies, do not care who
They
you're
don't give a
dating.
shit.
They don't care if you break up. And they don't
No.
care how hard you cried over it.
And write it down just for you. Like, write down whatever your expectations are. Like, I'm going to pay half the rent. Like, Kelly's going to pay half the rent. Adam's going to pay half the rent. Or, okay, we're both going to pay half the rent, but I'm the only one on the lease. So, like, write down, and even write down your utilities, because you don't want to move in and be like, oh, I thought you were going to pay all the utilities. Like, no, write it down before you even sign. Like, make your own unofficial lease before you sign the actual lease.
Be diligent.
Yeah.
Don't go in it without, knowing what could be the worst case scenario. Just be aware of it. You don't have to harp on it to yourself even, but just be aware of it and
write it down, communicate, talk about it,
yeah.
tell your friends, tell everyone. Like,
So
they should know. Just like you tell your mom if you're like, going on vacation, and so that she can like research all the hotels you're gonna be at and find all the emergency numbers. Like, tell your friends so they can be like, no, like Kelly told me that you guys were gonna do this. Like,
that's such a mom thing.
yeah.
It's like, oh, okay, here's all the hospitals like nearest to the hotel that I also found for you. Like,
calling the hotel. Did Kelly check in? Yeah. Yeah. Thanks, Mom. Love you.
So circumstances got you thinking about it. You decide it's good. You have enough life experience, which is generally 23, maybe not. Your financial situation it makes sense financially to move in. You're pretty aware of the other person's financial habits. That's good. You know who's going to be on the lease.
Yeah.
You're moving in together. You found the place. Oh gosh, yes.
I mean, that's a feat in and of itself. Just finding a place.
It's so hard to get two people to agree on a place, so it's okay.
Or for the place to agree on you.
Yeah. Nice. Well, you know what? Actually, it's take your time. One thing Kelly and I learned definitely that I didn't find elsewhere, but that you and I learned through our own life experience was take your time and find the right place. It will show up. It's okay. Like, especially, well, if you're in a big city, it's a little easier because there's always a place to sign.
I don't know, but in smaller places, they're cheaper.
Well, they're cheaper. I don't know. It's been a long time since I've lived outside of like a major city, so.
We also haven't lived outside of a major metropolitan area since we left home.
That's true. Yeah.
So we can't really talk about it.
Yeah. But
no experience here.
But you've decided all that, and now you need to figure out. You have to have all the stuff questions. So my things, your things, our things.
The question is just stuff in capital letters with a question mark.
Stir. What you gonna do with the stir?
So like, how much stuff? So there's no right amount of stuff. It's only right if it's right for both of you. So if you want to move in with all of your stuff and you have no room for the other person's stuff, you really should consider if you want to move in with that person.
It's your problem. It's your problem. It's a problem. The wine made a funny voice come out of my voice.
Oh, the wine did it.
The super did it.
Good job.
Whatever.
So yeah, your stuff. So we read.
I didn't know you could read.
Asshole.
Credit to Harry Potter for that one. Go on.
What?
Draco Malfoy. When they used the potion that made him look like Draco's friends in the first movie, I think. He came back and he had Harry, who looked like one of Draco's friends, came back and he was wearing his
Oh.
glasses. Yeah, and Draco goes, "Yeah, where were you?" And he goes, I was reading." And he goes, "I didn't know you could read."
Yeah, no, I remember. Okay, thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you. Harry Potter.
Harry Potter. Ooh.
So before we moved from Chicago to LA, we read the book, The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up. And the KonMari method is, in a nutshell, only hold on to the things that bring you joy.
Yeah.
So there's no certain percentage, there's no right amount of stuff that you have to have or that like Adam has to keep and that I have to keep. It's whatever you want to hold on to that brings you joy. So,
Yep.
I mean, it's a whole method. So, like, read the book, do the method. Don't just go off what I just said.
It just really changed our lives when we read that book. And
Yeah.
we want to share that experience. So yeah, like read it, don't read it, whatever. But decide what makes you happy and what you can part with.
Yeah. So, for example, there is this chair that my parents have had.
That is right here.
My parents had this chair, I think, before I was born, or at least it's in my earliest memories. It used to be this like rainbow striped chair, 80s, early 90s, right? And it has since been reupholstered, and it's a nicer fabric. But it's the most comfortable chair I have. It's one of those like big chairs with an ottoman. Like, I don't go anywhere without it. Not like to the store, but like I don't move without it. And it is kind of a big clunky chair.
It's huge.
Calm down. It is kind of a big clunky chair. So, you know, when we were moving apartments just in the city of Chicago, every time Adam would be like, "Are we getting rid of this fucking chair?" And I'd be like, No. Like, he didn't like the chair, but he didn't like it as much as I loved it. So when we were moving to LA, this is part of the reason we got a moving truck. The other part was because of all your fucking guitars.
Yeah,
so
no,
that's another thing.
I'm not shirking responsibility. That's a big word for somebody
Shirking?
who's
Okay.
inebriated, yes. Shirking.
So I needed this chair. So this chair, it means a lot to me. It's been in my family for a long time, and it is my chair. So although Adam doesn't exactly like the sight of it, he's come to love it. Sometimes he uses it.
I use it all often.
It's not his chair,
I'd
but
say
sometimes he uses it.
It has become our chair.
But I'm very passionate about it. And that's something that that we learned from our friends' parents. Just a few months ago, actually, they said that the way that they communicate, the way they solve arguments is whoever is more passionate wins.
Mm-hmm.
So that's not to be manipulated or anything, but like, I am so passionate about this chair that I win the argument.
Yeah. And I'm like 60-40 about the chair. Like, I'd like
You're
it more.
both 60 and 40?
No, I'd like it more to get rid of it than keep it. But like 60-40 is really me saying like, I kind of don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Like, it's fine.
Yeah.
And so Kelly wants it, you know, with her whole heart. And so we
My
keep
whole
the chair.
heart.
The whole thing.
Like,
so we keep
if the chair goes, I go.
And the fucking 10-foot ottoman that, yeah.
It's amazing.
It's a comfy chair, though. But anyways,
amazing.
so you're keeping things that bring you joy, that make you joy. Then another question is the two sets question, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So you've lived alone, probably, or with roommates, and then the other person's lived alone or with roommates. And odds are you have your own sets of all your shit. So plates.
Or a lot of it.
Or a lot of it, yeah. You got, at least the stuff in your bedroom is yours.
Right.
2 mattresses, 2 bed frames, 2 dressers, 2 sets of plates, and so on
Lots
and so
of
forth.
lamps.
Yeah, kitchen and bedroom is where most of that, I think, occurs. Really what I want to say is, yes, you can decide, like, to throw out all of your stuff and go with one person's stuff, or to choose whose stuff is better, like, piece by piece. You can do that, too, and that's all good. But really what I want to convey is, do not be afraid to get a storage unit, because it is not a sign of non-commitment. It's not like that.
We only got a storage unit because we were living in a 300 square foot studio apartment,
right,
and couldn't fit my chair. I went a year without my chair.
It
was terrible. I hated it.
Yeah, I thought you didn't like it because the only thing to sit on was my mattress. That was it.
Yeah, I mean, that was pretty terrible too.
But like, even the place after that, Kelly and I still had 2 sets of a lot of things.
We didn't have a storage unit, so
Yeah.
you can either have a storage unit or you can keep the 2 sets. So like,
Yeah.
you're gonna say we had 3 mattresses.
Mm-hmm.
We did. We had 3 mattresses. We had 2 full sets of dishes, 2 sets of silverware. We had a lot of things, but we also had the space for it. So like we could put stuff in the closet. We didn't have to have all of it out all the time. So that was a good option for us because we had the space. If you don't have the space, like the studio apartment that we were in, get a storage unit.
Do it.
You know.
And again, like, it's not a sign of non-commitment. One of the articles I was reading talked about how like this woman had, when she eventually had broken up with her partner that she had been with for years, and when she broke up with him, moving in, she had gotten rid of all of her belongings. But when they broke up, she just talked about that feeling of having nothing, wishing you had those things that you loved, which we've talked about, like keep those things that you love.
The things that bring you joy.
Yeah, and like she wished she had those things, but they were gone, and she ended up. It wasn't a financial issue because she could afford to buy some new furniture and whatnot and like get along, but it still wasn't a good moment. She had expressed like I just wish I kept them, in storage or something. And the point is, it's not
or at
a
least,
sign.
Like negotiated some things, keeping some of her things, keeping some of his things. Yeah, I mean, I understand that.
Mm-hmm. So it's not. Sorry, it's just not a sign of non-commitment. We had a storage unit, and sometimes you.
We had a storage unit because we had a 300 square foot studio apartment, which was basically the size of my storage unit. So, yeah, you remember that?
It was almost. It was a little bigger. It was your storage unit with a bathroom. Storage. Yeah.
Pretty much.
Oh my gosh. I never even thought of that.
Don't you remember it?
Of course I remember it, but like, wow. It was tight. It was real tight.
So really, your home should represent both of you. So you want to walk in and you want to feel at home. You want to feel like, oh, this is my home. I live here. Oh, also, I live here with this other person, too. So you should just walk in and feel like, oh, this is my palace, and this is only mine. You want to walk into a shared space, but you want half of it to be yours, So you want to feel represented, whether you're keeping your TV stand or you're keeping your art on the walls, you're keeping your refrigerator magnets, like, whatever the fuck you're keeping. Like, make sure that you feel enough at home with the stuff that is there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You said it beautifully.
Oh,
I have nothing to add.
thank you.
I have nothing to add to
Babe?
that. Yeah. You're welcome, Bill.
We don't have pet names for each other.
We don't. No, we don't.
I don't know if it's a good or bad thing, but
we do it as a joke, which stays as a joke.
Babe.
Yeah. No, that's gross. Anyways, so yeah, cool.
Not for anyone else, just for us.
So our advice
is, the right time means the time that is right for you and your partner. No one else can judge. It's just whenever you are comfortable. So whatever circumstances bring you together.
Yeah. So circumstances.
Positive circumstance.
Positive circumstance gets you in there, gets you in the game. Generally 23, but really life experience.
That's part of circumstance. Yeah.
Yeah, part of circumstance. Yeah. So
the
right time.
The big one.
Yes.
Is know legally who is responsible for your shelter.
Hmm.
Know who's on the lease. Just please.
Yeah.
Please know that.
Because, like, the state don't give a fuck.
Don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
And the last one.
Of course. Keep the things you can't live without. Mm-hmm. Just have an open and honest discussion about the things that you want to keep, the things that bring you joy, the things that you're passionate about. Mm-hmm. It's cool to get a storage unit. And, yeah, just be honest about it and have the talk. And that's going to lead to something that is unique to your relationship.
Yeah.
But have the talk.
Every relationship is different. There's no one-size-fits-all thing.
Yeah, there's no right percentage of stuff. It's the right thing is the right thing. So you're good.
Right.
Yeah. This has been I Love You, but we need to talk about moving in together. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Stay posted for our next video. And if you thoroughly enjoyed this evening, thanks to Terrain Vineyards, yes, who did
Red Blend 2014.
Exactly, and
responsible for this
is for the slurring that you hear between the two of us. Yes, and if you thoroughly enjoyed it, like, comment, subscribe, give us your thoughts if there's something we missed. We'd love to know about it so we can include it maybe in the next video or a future video if we revisit anything.
Yeah,
so,
any suggestions of topics, let us know.
Yeah, thank you guys so much, and have a great, I don't know,
Have a
rest of your
great
night.
Night, cheers.
Yeah, cheers.